and welcome to Let's Talk Rugs. I'm sorry it's been a while since my last chat and informative talk to you, but I hope today you're going to learn something a bit new and it's different. Now, I'm not talking about closures or lockdowns or reopenings, because we are now open and trading and enjoying seeing so many people coming into the shop. It's really been a pleasure having so many visitors, so thank you very much, all of you who've been to see us recently. Now, I often get asked by people is how on earth did I get involved in the rug and carpet industry? So I thought today I would tell you and use this little story to enlighten you further about a particular type of rug. So it was about 30 years ago, I hate to say, that I was helping an interior designer in her shop, and she asked if I could serve some wine at a cheese and wine evening they were having with the guest speaker, who was a rug dealer. And I said, yes, of course. So I went along and listened and got completely involved in the rugs and didn't know much about them at all at that stage, but it just clicked with me, and I got very involved in all the different designs and stories behind each rug. And it was my parents who then came along to this exhibition who bought this rug. This is the first rug that was ever in my family. Bought this rug at the exhibition, and from then on I got completely hooked. Now, I had been a stitcher, I had been a sewer, making costumes for the theatre, making curtains for interior designers. And so my sewing skills were easily and quickly adapted to learning about the restoration of carpets. And it was through that process that I got involved in the rug world. So the buying of this rug triggered off a completely new world life for me that I haven't looked back at, and it's taken me to various places, visiting various rug making areas in the world, visiting beautiful houses all over this country, and it's been a thrill to do. But this rug here, the starting point, is a lovely little Saruk. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Saruk rugs. Now, Saruk is a village in central Iran on the western side of the Farahàn Plain. In that village and all the little surrounding villages to Saruk, rug making became a cottage industry in the sort of 1880s, when the demand from Europe was so high, and the merchants in Tabriz, which is the city nearby, who were selling and supplying rugs to the European market, were desperate for makers. So they would go and supply the materials to the weavers who were living in these villages near Saruk, and they started making rugs, of which this is probably one from about that time, from about 1880. The designs at that time were quite stiff. You see, they're quite rigid little lines here. That it wasn't a great sort of flowing pattern, because a lot of the work was being done from memory, and also they may very well have just had very basic drawings to work from. So if you look down here at the border, they would have probably just had a border design, which they put along the bottom, and then they just started it and put it along the top. As they got more and more prolific with their rug making, the designs became more sophisticated, and they started developing better drawing techniques, basically, and would work from paper patterns, of which this little rug and the one I've got here are typical examples of how the designs have got more compact, more detailed. They've got the border patterns working better, going around the corner. They've worked it out a bit more, so they've been able to get a lot more detail into the patterns. So that's the sort of stage of rug making until, in this village, until about the time of the First World War, when European demand completely ceased, obviously, because there were more important things for people to deal with. And it wasn't until about the 1920s and 30s that the demand for good quality carpets from America worked its way into this region of Iran, and rugs were made for the American market, of which the big one on the bottom here is a typical example of what we call an American Saruk. Much more floral in design, brighter colours, jollier palette, very much the sort of rug that the American market would want. So this sort of commercial product has always been around, making there. It's been a product that people have made to sell, and still do to this day. And there's this rug here, over here, which is a fairly modern one. But the quality of these saruks are amazing. They're very thick, very hard wearing. They're some of my most favourite rugs actually, partly because I've got an attachment to this very one on my knee, which is my parents, and which got me involved in this industry. But they still have a charm and character to them. They're still genuine handmade rugs. The wool is often dyed at home, or produced for them, and you can see in this little rug here how you get this change of colour in the main field, where the indigo, that blue that they used to dye it, maybe ran out with one batch of wool and they dyed it again with a different batch. So you get this change, which is called abrash, which is just a lovely feature of genuine, proper handmade rugs. So I hope that's given you a little insight into one particular type of rug made in one particular region in Iran. This is a fascinating world, and one that I am continually learning about, even though I've been doing it now for a long time, and I love it. And I hope with you watching these videos, and I get so many nice comments, that you're beginning to see a bit more and learning about the product as well and enjoying it. Thank you. I hope to do another video very soon. Bye for now.